We've been listening to closing arguments in the trial for former police officer Kim Potter. The former Brooklyn Center officer is charged with the shooting death of 20-year-old Daunte Wright. Potter, who claims she meant to use her taser instead of her gun, faced his first and second-degree manslaughter charges. Now, earlier this morning, prosecutors reminded jurors that Daunte will not be home this holiday season.
You know who won't be home for the holidays is Daunte Wright. Daunte Wright's parents, Katie and Aubrey Wright, will have an empty seat at their table this holiday season because the defendant shot and killed him on April 11th of this year. He was just 20 years old. He had a baby boy of his own. The defendant, Kimberly Potter, a 26-year veteran of the Brooklyn Center Police Department, pulled the wrong weapon, and she shot and killed Daunte Wright.
All right, here to help us break down what we've heard so far from closing arguments, we have attorney Marie Pereira. We also have BNC Chief Legal Correspondent Laura McNeal. All right, so Marie, we'll start with you since closing arguments ended with the defense. As a former defense attorney, how did the defense do in your opinion?
I didn't think he did well at all. I would be vexed if I was one of the jurors. Basically, what he boiled it down to was whose life is important. So what? He died, but he caused his own death by fleeing. He even said near the end, if he didn't flee, he would be alive today. That's like saying any defendant who stopped and tries to run away must be killed and it's okay. He really vexed me. My heart was beating the way he downplayed the entire thing. It was almost like Kim Potter did something wrong. It's okay. But look what happened. Someone died. He was a weed smoking, woman beating, unlicensed, gun toting citizen. Are we going to put Kim Potter in jail for killing someone like that? I was disgusted with his closing.
All right, Laura, what about you? How do you think the defense did?
You know, he did as he was expected to do. He has throughout this trial tried to victimize Daunte Wright. And really, I was trying to figure out while he was giving his closing, is Daunte Wright on trial or Kim Potter? Because apparently he forgot who his client was by trying to defame a 20-year-old unarmed young man and say that he's the cause, as Marie said, for his own death. So I thought what he did was disgraceful, but expected. And more important, I thought he messed up when he said that how could Kim Potter possibly be reckless when she thought she had a taser and not a firearm. That's the whole core of the prosecution's point. She should have known as a 26-year-old veteran that she did not have a firearm in her possession at the time that she pulled out her taser. That's the whole point. That's why it was reckless. That's why it's culpable negligence. So I thought he actually hurt his client with that statement.
All right, Marie, let's talk about the prosecution. How do you think they laid out their case in closing arguments?
She did an excellent job. She honed in on the totality of the circumstances. She really followed the letter of the law. What is first-degree manslaughter? It is causing the death of another person while you're recklessly handling a firearm. And if you're not buying that, second-degree manslaughter is culpable negligence, recklessness. You should have known, you didn't know, you didn't do what's right, and someone died, and at the end you have to pay the price. She's expecting jury nullification. She's expecting sympathy. She hit on all the points, and basically she's saying, follow the law, not your heart. Don't look at her as some, innocent person who just made a mistake. It was a colossal, irreversible screw up. It was fatal.
Yeah. Laura, how about you? Do you agree with Marie?
I do agree with her. And the thing about it is Prosecutor Eldridge, she has a reputation, as we saw with the Derek Chauvin trial, for giving a killer closing argument. And that's what we heard today. And I think what stood out to me the most is when she went through meticulously every bad decision, essentially, that Kim Potter made that day and how those series of bad decisions led to the death of Daunte Wright. So essentially helping the jury to understand how to hold Kim Potter accountable under the law. And the fact that she also used the still shots, I thought, from the car incident to help build her case, to show them, look, you can see with their own eyes the fear, the sheer fear in Officer Lucky's face as he literally sees residue from her firing going past his face, under his arm, how close he came to being injured by Kim Potter's actions. So I thought she did a great job doing that, and also just reminding the jury, listen, this is not about whether or not she's a good cop, a good person, or a peaceful person. It's about what happened on April 11th and whether or not she broke the law. And again, that's going to be up to the jury to decide.
Yeah. All right. The defense saying one of the officers on the scene, and I'm sure this stuck out to you as well, ladies. The defense saying that officer could have put his knee on Daunte Wright's back. Let's listen to this quick sound.
Officer Lucky, being a nice guy, I mean, he could have taken him and thrown him against the car and put his knee on his neck. No, he said, put your hands behind your back. I'm going to handcuff you. And at the same time, Sergeant Johnson says you have, and he wants to know why, you have a warrant. Now, Daunte Wright realizes there's a warrant for his arrest. And he knows what it is.
Marie, was that comment by the defense intentional? Trying to separate his client perhaps from Derek Chauvin's actions?
It was reprehensible, and I think that was the most vexing thing as a person on the jury. He's basically saying he was a really nice guy. He didn't put his knee on his neck. Did he really think that was helping his client? I felt like it really put the nail in his client's coffin. I was shocked when he said that.
Yeah. Laura, how about you? Because that definitely stood out to me as well.
For me, it was deja vu. It reminded me of the defense attorney in the Ahmaud Arbery trial, meaning for the trial for the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, when she referenced his toenails, right? And so to hear him referencing, hey, look, it's not so bad. It just reminded me of the devaluation when it comes to how police interact with people of color. She's like, hey, he didn't put his knee on the neck. He's one of the good cops. So any actions that result in death, I wouldn't exactly frame as a good cop. And so I thought that I agree with Marie that I think it hurt his client tremendously. And even just his overall demeanor and posture during the closing arguments, he came across as very aggressive, argumentative, and I just don't think it bodes well, his style, his litigation style with the jury. I thought that the prosecution style was much more a style that would be much more receptive to juries. And I think he really, like in the Ahmaud Arbery case against the trial for the McMichaels, I think he did more harm than